Hello student, our next topic is S block elements. Okay, now we have to discuss the S block elements. In that we are going to discuss the first A, second A. After that we have the P block. In that we are going to discuss the 13th group, 13th and 14th. Now let us discuss here. As you know very well, in the S block elements we have the two groups, that is first A and second A. Okay. In first group, as you know very well, we have the element like what? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Okay, these are the elements of what? First group elements. Now come to the second group elements. We have second group elements beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. Okay. Now, so why we are calling the S block elements means, as you know very well, the last electron or the differentiate electrons enter into the S orbital, then we classified as S block elements. Already you know very well, in the periodic table we have the four blocks. Okay, S, here we are in the middle, D, and of the here we have the P block, and at the bottom of the periodic table we have the F block. Okay, so as you know very well, differentiating electron enter into the S block, S orbital, that's what it's calling as a S block elements. So as you know very well, S orbital can accommodate maximum how many electron? 2 electrons. So because of that reason, in S block we have only two groups, that is what? First and second, nothing but one. According to Roman number, you have the 1A and 2A. Now in that discuss, first we are going to discuss about the alkali metals, nothing but group 1. So here in group 1 have one electron in the valence shell. As you know very well, in the valence shell we are going to write what? NS1, general electronic configuration of first A what? NS1. Mean in the valence shell we have only one electron. Here they do not occur in the native or free states. Okay. These elements are collectively known as alkali metals because their oxides and hydroxide form strong alkalis like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. Here, so what happened here? If you see, they are not going to occur in the free state. Means they are occur in the form of they are going to bind. They are looking. They are what available as oxides like okay. So they are not available in the free states. Now once they dissolve in the water or some any compound, what happen? They are going to give the bases. As you know very well, sodium hydroxide is a base, potassium hydroxide is a base. That's why they are calling as a what? Alkali metals. Now here lithium is known as bridged element. Why? Because means here as you know very well, we have the diagonal relationship, isn't it? So in that what happened? Lithium having the diagonal relationship with the magnesium. So it is called as a what? Bridged element. Here you can see their atomic number respectively. Now here if you see, now let us see lithium. What is the here atomic? If you go further see. Now if you see the electronic configuration, now lithium here, helium along with the what? 2s1. Why? Because means it belongs to second period. Okay, last already we know here in the classification means we came to know n indicate means what? Here it belongs to which period. So as coming what lithium is going to come in second period. So you are going to write the what? 2s1. Sodium as a 3s1 along with the neon. Neon means here atomic number 10. So we need one electron, that is one. You are going to fill in the 3s1. So like that you are going to write the electronic configuration. Okay. So outermost electronic configuration you are going to write the what? NS1. In this, if you see here, francium is a what? Radioactive element. Here atomic radius, if you see here, as you know, atomic radius means what? The distance from the nucleus to outermost orbit is called what? Atomic radius. Now here the alkali metals have the biggest atomic radii in their respective periods, isn't it? Why? Because means here if you see, as you know very well, in the periodic table what happens? If you go for left to right atomic radius is going to be decreases. So in the period, what happened here, if you see, they have the biggest atomic radii. Atomic radii increases as we go down the group due to addition of new shell in each subsequent step. As you know very well, now if you come top to bottom, what happened, there is a increase in atomic radius. Why? Because means, for example, first period and second period, what happened, we have 2 shells. Third period means we have 3 shells. So number of shells are going to add. So because of that reason, what happened, atomic radius is going to be increases. Now let us discuss ionic radius. Means if it is losing the electron, it is going to become an ion. Now ionic radii of alkali metals are much smaller than their corresponding metals due to lesser number of shells and contractive effect of the increase in nuclear charge. Here what is the meaning of, for example, we have the sodium. If it is losing the electron, what is going to become? Na plus, isn't it? So what happened, as you know very well, the cation size is less than that of the parent atom. Why? Because means once losing the electron, it is effective nuclear charge is going to be increases. So here alkali metals have much smaller than what the ionic radius will be. Means now this is in the atom, you are telling the radius called atomic radius. In the ion, if you tell the radius, it is called what? Ionic radius. Okay. So compared to what? Neutral atom, here ion having the less atomic radius. Now if you see here density, here we have density of potassium is lesser than that of the sodium because of the abnormal increase in size and moving down the sodium to potassium. Here if you see the density, okay. So density of potassium, as you know very well, we have the elements lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Okay, here we are talking about the in these two cases. So what happened? Density of potassium is lesser than that of the what? Here density of potassium is lesser than that of the sodium. Why? Because means there is an abnormal increase in size. Okay. So as you know very well, density is equal to what we have, mass by volume, isn't it, relation? So here once the size is increases means volume is going to increases. So what happen here? Density going to be decreases. So because of abnormal increase in size, volume is going to be increases. So density of potassium is less than that of the what? Sodium. Now let us discuss melting point, boiling point. The melting point, boiling points of alkali metals are quite low and decreases down the group due to weakening of metallic bond. Here the melting point, boiling point is very less and is going on. If you come to down like lithium to sodium, potassium, here what happens, going to be decreases. Why? Because means the bond is the metal bond is going to be become weak. Once it is weak means what happen, we can easily break the bond, means at low temperature. So because of that reason, what happen, the melting point, boiling point decreases down the group. Next come to softness. Here these are very soft. Okay, here we can go for the malleable ductile means what, you can draw into sheets and wire. Okay, which can be cut with the knife means what, here you can see. Okay, here this is the sodium metal. Okay, here the person is going to cut with the knife. You can assume, see, even though it is a metal, you can cut with the knife, that much of soft will be there. Here this is example for the what, sodium metal. Here they possess metallic luster when freshly cut due to oscillation of electron. Here if you see, here is both the things. Here when they cut, they have some luster, nothing but they have some shining here compared to here. Here this is not there. Why? Because why it is coming some shining means here oscillation of some electrons. As you know very well, in the valence shell we have electrons. Okay, they are going to be oscillate. Because of that reason, we have some luster. Okay. Atomic volume of alkali metal is highest in each period and goes on increasing down the group from top to bottom. Here if you see the atomic volume, as you know very well, from left to right periodic table, what happened, their size is going to be decreases. So in each period the atomic volume is more, first A group elements. Now come to from top to bottom, what happened, as you know very well, size of the atom is going to increases, so volume also going to be increases. Now let us discuss ionization enthalpy. Here, as you know very well, ionization enthalpy means what? The energy required to remove the outermost electron from the gaseous neutral atom is called what? Ionization enthalpy. Now here, the first ionization enthalpy of alkali metal is lowest among the element in their respective periods and decreases as on moving down the group. So as you know very well, lithium, sodium, potassium, what happened? They have the first ionization enthalpy. Means what? If you remove the only one electron, now it has become La plus. Now if you remove the one electron, it's going to become Na plus. Like it is what? It is having the less ionization enthalpy. Why? Because means they are going to get the noble gas configuration once they lose the electron. So as you know very well, from top to bottom what happens? Size is going to increases. So ionization enthalpy going to be decreases. Now let us see the second ionization enthalpy. Means now if we want to convert Li plus into Li plus 2, that is called what? Second ionization enthalpy or IP2. So here what happened? The second ionization enthalpy of all alkali metals are very high. Why? Because means once here after losing the electron they are going to get the noble gas configuration. Okay. Once they are getting the noble gas configuration means, as you know very well, it is difficult to remove the electron. So we have the more secondary ionization enthalpy. So here for example sodium is there. Sodium once you remove the electron, what happens? It's going to get the neon electronic configuration. So it is difficult to remove the electron. Okay. So compared to first ionization enthalpy, second ionization enthalpy is more. Here all we have the what? Paired electron. So once the paired electron is there, that is called what? Diamagnetic. Means what? They are not going to attract with the magnet. That is called what? Diamagnetic in nature. So alkali metals however have paramagnetic nature due to one unpaired electron. Now iron is a diamagnetic. Why? Because means they are going to get the noble gas configuration and all our electrons are paired in the valence shell. But if you see the atom, what happened? We have the one unpaired electron is there. Why? Because means outermost electronic configuration is what? Ns1. So this is a what we have. The metals are paramagnetic in nature, but their ions are what? Diamagnetic in nature. Means they are going to paramagnetic means what? They are going to attracted by the magnet. That nature is called paramagnet. If they are not going to attract by the magnet, that is called what? Diamagnetic in nature. Now let us see flame coloration. Flame means what here? Simply what we have. For example, you know very well burner. Okay, Bunsen burner is there. Okay. So what we are taking? We are taking one petri dish or some glass. Okay, dish. In that we are adding some. We are taking some metal, dissolving the some acid. Then what we are taking? We are taking the some glass rod. Okay, this glass rod and glass rod. We are taking this metal solution and we are going to burn on the burner. So what happened when you burn? We are going to get the different colors. Okay. Why we are going to get this different colors? Okay. Let us see now. So here alkali metals and their salt import here characteristic colors to the flame because the outer electrons get excited to the higher energy level. When the electrons returns to original state, it releases visible light of characteristic wavelength which provide a color to the flame. So here what is happening means here. So as you know very well, for example, we have this atom. Okay. For example, we have the electron here. Okay. So what, as you know very well, here one electron present here. Assume this is a we have one electron here. When you go for the heating and the burner, this electron is going to upper orbit. Okay. So as you know very well, when the electron, if you give the electron energy, is going to it's going to be upper orbit. So in upper orbit, electron is unstable. So it's want to come down again back. So during its when coming down, it's going to release some amount of energy. Okay, some amount of light. That light is available in the visible region. Okay, because of that reason we have different colors, or we have some important characteristic means some specific color to the each metal. Let us see here how means. If you see the lithium, we have the crimson red. Sodium we have the yellow color. Potassium is a violet, and rubidium has a red violet, and cesium has the blue color. Now let us see the image here. Here you can see the sea. and burner. Okay, when you keep the here a metal solution, here we have lithium is going to get the what, crimson red. Sodium you can see the yellow color. Okay, potassium is pale violet. Here we have the violet and bluish color. Like this we have the some characteristic colors for the this, okay, this group element. Next, see photoelectric effect. What is a photoelectric effect? Already we discussed. When you, what happen on a metal surface, what happen when you irradiate, what happen, the electrons are come out, okay, ejected, going, it is a it's going to be ejected. That is called what, photoelectric effect. Already we discussed in the atomic structure. Now, so here, due to very low ionization enthalpy, alkali metals, okay, especially here what happens, cesium exhibit the photoelectric effect, that is meant ejection of electron when exposed to light. So it is used in the photoelectric cells. Okay, here we already know photoelectric cell, what is experiment we already discussed. So just to go for the recap for the atomic structure in the photoelectric effect lecture. So in the what specially we are going to use the cesium. Why? Because means here we have the element what, lithium, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, isn't it? Francium is a radioactive, we are not going to discuss. So if you come from top to bottom, what happened? The ionization enthalpy is very less. So it's easily going to lose the electron. If you go for the what photoelectric effect also, we are going to use the first group element only. You can see that means maximum. Why? Because means they have the low ionization enthalpy, so we can easily eject the electrons. Okay, so especially cesium is going to we are going to use in the photoelectric cell. Next, come to electrical conductivity. Here they are going to conduct electric conductivity. Why? Because means due to the presence of loosely held valence electron which are free to move throughout the metal surface. Here, as you know very well, in the valence shell electronic configuration, what we have, ns1, means this electron is going to move very freely on the metal surface. Because of that reason, they are having the one electric conductivity. The alkali metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Why? Because means we have one unpaired electron in the valence shell. Electrical conductivity increases from top to bottom in the order. Here what happened? If you know from top to bottom means lithium to cesium, what happened? They are going to easily lose the electron. So because of that reason, what happened? The conductance going to be increases from the lithium to cesium. So this is about the general introduction and physical properties of first A group elements.